Sometimes, silence is louder than thunder. And in a world that constantly demands a reaction, the strongest move you can make is to stay still. Not every insult needs a reply. Not every betrayal needs revenge. Not every lie deserves correction. The ego wants to shout, but the soul knows karma doesn't miss. There are moments in life where your power is not in what you say, but in what you don't. When someone wrongs you and expects you to fall apart, don't speak. Don't beg. Don't try to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Let karma handle what your words never could. It's not about being weak. It's about knowing that silence, when chosen with wisdom, is a weapon sharper than words. Stoicism teaches us not to react impulsively, to not allow someone else's chaos to control our inner peace. And that's what this is. A conscious decision to protect your energy and trust the universe to balance what you don't have to. Because here's the truth, people always reveal who they are. You don't need to expose them. They do it themselves. Loudly, repeatedly, and eventually, publicly. Karma doesn't come with an announcement. It arrives quietly, when it's least expected. But it always arrives. When someone spreads lies about you, stay silent. The truth has a strange way of rising through the noise. And when it does, it speaks volumes, louder than any defense you could have made. When someone tries to manipulate or guilt-trip you, walk away. The moment you choose peace over engagement, you break the cycle they feed on. And that's how karma begins to whisper in their life. When someone betrays your loyalty, don't chase them. Let them go. Let them carry the weight of your absence. Let them feel the emptiness where your energy once stood. That's karma too. People who hurt others without remorse think they're escaping consequences, but they're just delaying them. Because karma doesn't need your help. It's patient. And it always finds its way back. Silence isn't submission. It's self-mastery. It's the strength to say, I don't need to fight this battle. The universe already saw it. Let people misunderstand you. Let them gossip. Let them celebrate your downfall too early. The same people who laughed will be the ones who watch in silence when karma does what it always does, balances everything. It's tempting to speak up, to defend your name, to prove your point. But sometimes, the higher path is the quiet one. Sometimes, you only win by refusing to play their game. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise. When you stop reacting, you start observing. And that's where your real power is. You'll notice how quickly people fall apart when they no longer have access to your reactions. When their games no longer work on you. When your silence becomes a mirror, and all they see is their own reflection. So, speak less. Trust more. Don't let anger trick you into action. Don't let pride force your hand. Let time, truth, and karma do what they're built to do. And while they work in silence, you grow in peace. Because the loudest victories are often the ones no one sees coming. And the strongest people are those who could speak, but choose not to. So next time you're tested, pause. Breathe. Smile inwardly. And remember, you don't need to respond. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to trust that karma remembers everything. And that silence? That's your power. Use it. They may mock your silence. They may call it weakness. But deep down, it unsettles them. Because people expect reactions. They feed on drama. On your energy. On your pain. When you deny them that, you hold all the power. They don't realize that silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. It says, I've seen enough. I've heard enough. And I'm done giving you access to my peace. That's not quitting. That's clarity. That's evolution. The higher you rise, the quieter you become. Because you realize, not everything deserves your voice. Not everyone deserves your truth. And not every moment is worth breaking your inner peace for. So, let them talk. Let them assume. Let them twist the story. Truth doesn't need defending. It just waits. Quietly. And when the time is right, it arrives with calm, undeniable force. Karma doesn't need anger. It doesn't scream. It moves slowly, but precisely. And while you're walking in peace, growing, healing, evolving, karma is circling quietly behind the scenes, putting everything in its proper place. It's not about revenge. It's about release. Stoicism isn't about being passive, it's about knowing when to act and when to let go. When someone disrespects you, the urge to correct them burns. But correcting a fool only proves there are two. Your silence doesn't make you lesser, it makes you different. Rarer. Stronger. Because your energy is sacred. You don't waste it on chaos. And when you stop engaging, something beautiful happens. Your life aligns. People who no longer match your peace will fall away. Truths will surface without your effort. Peace will return like a tide. And you'll realize you never needed to fight for justice. You just needed to trust in time. Your silence becomes your filter. The loud fall away. The loyal stay. And clarity remains. Even your enemies begin to wonder how you stay calm. How you smile. How you sleep. It's because you've mastered the art of letting go, not because you're passive, but because you're powerful. You've learned to let the storm pass, without stepping into it. You've learned that karma works best when you stop trying to play God. Because here's the truth no one tells you. The universe doesn't miss. It sees the backstabbing, the betrayal, the manipulation. And it responds, not when you demand it, but when you no longer need it. That's the moment it begins. So don't waste your energy proving your worth to people who never saw it. Don't waste your breath trying to fix what was designed to fall apart. Instead, pour that energy into building your future, into healing, into rising. Because while they stay stuck in the past, plotting, gossiping, pointing fingers, you'll be too far ahead for their chaos to ever reach you again. Your silence becomes your elevation. And karma? Karma becomes your echo. So speak less. Trust more. Let your growth be the response. Let your peace be the revenge. Let your silence be the legacy. Because some lessons are best delivered by time. And karma never forgets a face it's meant to visit. You just focus on your path. Because while you say nothing, everything falls into place. You'll look back one day, not with bitterness, but with clarity. You'll remember the ones who hurt you, the moments that broke you, the silence you chose when you could have screamed. And you'll smile, not because they suffered, but because you didn't let them destroy who you are. You'll see how the universe worked everything out, without your interference, without your anger, without your need to explain. You'll realize that your silence wasn't empty. It was a prayer, a declaration of strength. A quiet act of rebellion in a world obsessed with noise. And it worked. The people who used you, they'll need someone. And no one will come. The ones who twisted your truth, they'll live in a web of their own lies. Those who celebrated your pain, they'll eventually taste the silence they once mocked. And you'll be too focused on building a life so peaceful, so purposeful that nothing from the past can reach you anymore. Because true victory is not revenge. It's not proving your point. It's not watching them fall. True victory is peace. Waking up every morning with a clear mind. Loving yourself fully. Trusting life again, despite what it took from you. And knowing, deep in your soul, that you never had to lose your character to win. That's what Stoicism teaches us. That emotional discipline is freedom. That letting go is strength. That silence is a language only the wise understand. So when the world pushes you, don't push back. When lies surround you, don't defend. When they try to drag you into the dirt, don't move. Stand tall. Stay silent. And smile. Because karma is already listening. And everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Let them wonder why you're so calm. Let them question why you never fought back. Let them feel the emptiness where your chaos used to be. You don't owe them a war. You owe yourself peace. And when you choose that path, again and again, you don't just walk in silence. You walk in power. Speak less. Trust more. and watch karma do what it always does, deliver exactly what's deserved to everyone, including you. Because you deserve peace. And now, you've earned it. And when you finally stop chasing closure from people who never gave you honesty, you free yourself. You realize that silence is not just a strategy, it's a sanctuary. A sacred place where your spirit breathes again. Where you're no longer performing for anyone's approval. You're just being. And that's enough. The more you evolve, the less you need to be understood. You don't need applause. You don't need to prove you were right. You don't need a front row seat to their karma. You just need alignment. With yourself. With peace. With your purpose. Let the world do what it does. Let them misjudge. Let them forget your kindness. Let them distort your intentions. That's not your weight to carry anymore. Because some people weren't sent to stay. They were sent to awaken. To teach. To test. And when their purpose is fulfilled, your silence is the door they leave through. So let them. Don't chase closure. Don't explain your soul to those committed to misunderstanding it. Some truths don't belong in words. They belong in distance. In absence. In peace. The storm they created will return to them. And you? You will be untouched because you never tried to match their chaos. You transcended it. That's the Stoic way. Not emotionless, but emotionally disciplined. Not passive, but peacefully detached. Not vengeful, but trusting in a force greater than your pain. You begin to feel it. A stillness inside you. A clarity in your breath. A softness in your heart that somehow feels stronger than rage ever did. Because silence isn't weak. Forgiveness isn't foolish. And walking away isn't losing. It's winning, without ever lifting your voice. And when people wonder how you stayed so composed, how you moved on so gracefully, how you didn't collapse under the weight of betrayal, they'll never understand that it wasn't your strength alone. It was your surrender. You surrendered the need to control. To get even. To explain. You surrendered, and karma picked up where you left off. That's why you're free. That's why you're glowing. That's why your silence speaks louder now than your words ever could. So keep choosing peace. Keep choosing restraint. Keep choosing the higher path again and again, no matter how low they go. Because that choice is your liberation. That silence is your crown. And that unshakable stillness within you, that is the sound of karma moving through your life. Powerfully. Quietly. Perfectly. So speak less. Trust more. And let life handle the rest. And slowly, you begin to understand not everything that breaks you is meant to ruin you. Some things break you just enough to wake you up. To pull you back into yourself. To remind you who you really are, without all the noise, without all the approval, without all the masks. You learn that you don't always have to respond to disrespect with defense. You don't always have to answer cruelty with confrontation. Sometimes, the greatest flex is indifference. You start showing up differently. Not louder. Not colder. Just wiser. Your peace becomes your standard. Your silence becomes your filter. Your growth becomes your response. You stop explaining your boundaries. You just set them. You stop warning people. You just walk away. You stop waiting for an apology. You just heal without one. And what once triggered you no longer touches you. Because you've outgrown the battlefield. You've outgrown the need to fight every war. You've even outgrown the need to win. Now, you just want peace. Real peace. The kind that doesn't depend on anyone else. The kind that lives in your breath, in your sleep, in your smile. Quiet peace. Steady peace. Unshakable peace. That's where you find your power. You stop asking, why did they do this to me? And start asking, what is life trying to teach me here? You stop trying to change people. And you start changing your environment. Your habits. Your reactions. Your inner world. And that changes everything. Because when you shift your focus from revenge to growth, you win a different kind of battle, the one inside yourself. That's what Stoicism is really about. It's not about suppressing your feelings. It's about learning how to master them. It's not about becoming numb. It's about becoming free. So let them think they've won when you don't respond. Let them misread your silence as weakness. Let them build stories to justify their guilt. It's none of your concern anymore. You don't need to carry their weight. You don't need to chase validation. You don't need to perform strength. You are already strong. Because you're not reacting, you're rising. And that rise? It's silent. It's graceful. And it's unstoppable. You no longer fight to be seen. You simply walk in your truth, whether they see it or not. You no longer need justice from people. You trust justice from life. And as time passes, as karma unfolds, as truth echoes through the silence you once kept, everything aligns. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but inevitably always. Because karma has no deadline, and silence has no weakness. It is the sound of trust. It is the voice of wisdom. It is the echo of power. And now, finally, you know. You never needed to shout to be heard. You never needed to strike back to be strong. You never needed to prove anything to anyone. You just needed to return to yourself. That's where the real victory lives. Quiet, still, unbothered, unmoved. That's how you win. So speak less. Trust more. Let go fully. And let the silence write the ending you no longer have to. And now look at yourself. Still standing. Still healing. Still growing in silence. All the things you thought would break you only built you. The people who left only made room for your evolution. The pain that once consumed you became the fire that refined you. And in all that silence you found something louder than any voice. You found you. The real you. Not the reactive one. Not the angry one. Not the one who needed the last word. But the one who watches with calm eyes. Who moves with quiet confidence. Who smiles, not because life is perfect, but because you are finally in alignment with it. You don't have to make noise to matter. You don't have to be heard to be powerful. You don't have to defend your worth to people who were never ready to recognize it. Your stillness is your revolution. Your peace is your protest. Your silence is your evolution. Let others live loudly in drama, in ego, in illusion. You live deeply, in presence, in awareness, in truth. Because karma is real. And it is patient. It works without needing your involvement. It balances the scales in time. And when it does, it won't ask for your permission. So continue walking forward. Head high. Heart clear. No noise. No anger. No need to look back. They'll feel what you no longer need to say. They'll see what your silence always knew. And in that moment, you'll realize you didn't lose anything. You were being redirected, protected, prepared. The storm never came to destroy you. It came to clear your path. And now that the storm has passed, what remains is calm. What remains is clarity. What remains is you, unshaken, wiser, stronger. So this is your reminder. Not every battle needs your sword. Not every insult needs your breath. Not every loss is a defeat. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing, do nothing, and trust everything. Let your silence be your boundary. Let karma be your witness. Let peace be your legacy. And as the world spins in noise and reaction, you'll remain unbothered, untouched, unmoved. Because you've mastered the one thing they never expected. You've mastered yourself. And in that silence, you became unstoppable. And as the days pass, you'll notice something else begin to shift. You don't rush anymore. Not your healing. Not your decisions. Not your life. You've learned that what's meant for you never requires force. That peace isn't found in control, it's found in surrender. And now, you choose softness without fear. Not because the world is gentle, but because you are strong enough to remain soft within it. You don't react to chaos with chaos. You don't meet low energy at its level. You don't light yourself on fire to warm people who only bring cold. You simply observe. You notice the patterns. You recognize the cycles. You feel the triggers, but you don't feed them. Instead, you pause. You breathe. You sit with it. You ask yourself quietly, does this deserve me? And most of the time, the answer is no. That is your growth. The version of you that used to overthink, overgive, overexplain, that version is gone. Not dead, just evolved. Transformed through experience, through silence, through the long and necessary journey inward. Because you didn't just go through hard things, you grew through them. And now, you know better. You've learned that silence isn't just a response, it's a boundary. You don't chase closure. You don't justify your peace. You don't open your soul to people who listen only to respond. You've traded noise for knowing. You've traded chaos for calm. You've traded urgency for presence. And now you realize, sometimes the most sacred thing you can do is protect your energy with your absence. To love people from a distance. To wish them healing without offering your access. To forgive them without reopening the door. That is a different kind of power. The quiet kind. The eternal kind. And it lives inside you now. They'll wonder how you got so peaceful. How you smile without a mask. How you stand so still while everything around you is shaking. And the answer will never be loud. It will never be flashy. It will never come with an explanation. It will be in how you move. How you respond. Or more truthfully, how you no longer respond at all. Because when you master the art of saying nothing, everything begins to speak for you. Your peace, your progress, your presence, that becomes your voice now. So keep going. Quietly, confidently, unapologetically. You're not here to prove yourself to people who never deserved access to your truth. You're not here to fight battles that were never yours. You're not here to shrink to fit into spaces that can't hold your light. You're here to become. And becoming requires silence. It requires letting go. It requires trusting that what falls away was never meant to stay. So when the past knocks, let it echo in the emptiness. When the drama returns, let it find no audience. When the pain revisits, welcome it only as a messenger, and release it. Because this path you're walking now, it's not for everyone. It's not for the loud. It's not for the prideful. It's for the rooted, the present, the aware. And most of all, it's for you. There's something sacred about reaching a point in your life where you no longer chase what doesn't flow. You no longer knock on closed doors. You no longer beg to be seen. You no longer carry the weight of what isn't yours. It's not because you've given up. It's because you've woken up. You've remembered who you are underneath the noise, and what truly matters beyond the surface. You no longer ask, why don't they love me the way I loved them? You no longer ask, why did they lie, or leave, or break me? You've stopped asking the wrong questions, and started listening to the right answers, those that rise in silence. Because sometimes the universe takes things away not to punish you, but to protect your becoming. It removes the loud, so you can hear the quiet. It removes the distractions, so you can see your path. It removes the weight, so you can finally fly. And the moment you stop resisting that, is the moment you start living. Not surviving. Not reacting. Not proving. But living. Living with intention. Living with space in your heart again. Living with your soul in alignment with your steps. And you'll notice, as your peace deepens, your circle tightens. People who once felt magnetic, now feel heavy. Conversations that once excited you, now drain you. Places you used to go, feel foreign. And that's okay. You're not losing anything. You're just tuning into a new frequency. You're finally vibrating in truth, not trauma. Because silence has been showing you things noise could never reveal. It's in the stillness you remember. Not everyone deserves your story. Not every situation requires your energy. And not every loss is meant to be replaced. Some things are meant to leave, so that better things can enter. Not louder, not flashier, just truer. People who see you, not for your potential, but for your presence. Spaces that feel like safety, not survival. Moments that aren't about being impressive, but being authentic. And it all begins with choosing silence over noise. Stillness over reaction. Peace over performance. You'll find that the less you speak, the more you hear. The less you chase, the more flows. The less you force, the more arrives. And all of it, every step, every ending, every quiet decision you made to not react, was never weakness. It was alignment. With nature. With time. With truth. With karma. Because what you release with grace always returns in wisdom. So let them wonder why you stopped explaining. Why you stopped showing up. Why you stopped trying to fix what broke you. Let them wonder. While you heal. While you rebuild. While you sit in silence, smiling, because you finally understand. You didn't need revenge. You didn't need to be louder. You didn't need to be seen by them. You just needed to come home, to yourself. And now that you have, there is nothing left to prove. Just breath. Just space. Just freedom. The kind that only silence can give. You sit with the silence now like an old friend. No longer afraid of what it brings. No longer running from what it reveals. Because in the stillness, you found a kind of clarity that words could never give you. A kind of knowing that lives beyond logic. A kind of peace that doesn't need a reason to exist. You no longer wait for closure from them, because you became your own closure. You no longer search for apologies, because you've forgiven in your heart and released the weight. You no longer argue to be understood, because your truth doesn't need agreement to be valid. This is real freedom. The kind that doesn't depend on external conditions. The kind that isn't shaken by moods, or opinions, or storms. The kind that rests gently in your chest, steady as a heartbeat. You've learned to pause before reacting. To breathe before speaking. To ask yourself, does this add to my peace, or steal from it? And more, you choose peace. Even if it costs you pride. Even if it means letting go. Even if it means walking away from things you once prayed to keep. That's growth. Not loud. Not dramatic. Not always beautiful. But real. The kind of growth that strips away who you thought you had to be, so you can finally return to who you actually are. The soft strength. The quiet wisdom. The presence that doesn't need a spotlight to shine. And now you know. Some things are better left unsaid. Some people are better loved from afar. Some endings are actually beginnings in disguise. You're no longer bitter. You're no longer resentful. You're no longer spinning stories in your mind trying to make sense of their actions. You've accepted that not everyone has the capacity to meet you where you are. And that's not your burden to carry. Your only responsibility is to protect your energy, to nurture your soul, to keep your spirit clean, uncluttered by drama, untouched by pettiness, unshaken by betrayal. And the deeper you go into yourself, the more sacred everything becomes. Your time, your space, your peace. You begin to see that silence isn't just something you keep, it's something you honor. It's a temple. It's a shield. It's a teacher. And if you listen closely enough, it will tell you everything you need to know. It will show you who belongs in your life, not by what they say, but by how they feel in your presence. It will guide you, not with force, but with gentle intuition. It will protect you, not through control, but through clarity. So now, when the noise rises, you don't rise with it. You drop deeper. Deeper into your stillness. Deeper into your knowing. Deeper into the quiet power that can't be touched by the outside world. Because this peace you found, it wasn't given to you by them. And it can't be taken away by them. It was earned. In silence. In surrender. in the sacred decision to stop explaining your worth and start living it. So breathe. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Not behind, not broken, not lost, but arriving. Arriving at yourself. Fully, quietly, completely. And here, in this stillness, you begin to see the beauty in things you once rushed past. The way the morning light touches your skin. The silence before the sun rises. The peace in being alone, but not lonely. The deep exhale of knowing you're safe now. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You stopped chasing noise. You stopped needing to be chosen. You stopped asking life to go back to how it was before the pain. Because now you understand. The pain wasn't punishment. It was preparation. It stripped away what was never yours to carry. And now all that's left is you. The real you. The steady you. The you who no longer needs external permission to feel whole. There's a softness in you now, but it's not weakness. It's resilience. The kind that doesn't raise its voice but never bows its head. You've learned to walk away, not out of fear, but from wisdom. You've learned that not every loss is a failure. Some are freedom dressed in disguise. And you've learned that people will misunderstand your silence, and that's okay. Your peace doesn't require their understanding. Because peace isn't a performance. It's a decision. It's a daily devotion. It's the choice to stay grounded when the world pulls at you from every side. And you've made that choice over and over again. In the quiet. In the dark. When no one clapped for you. When no one saw the battles you refused to fight. You chose you. You chose healing over hatred. Letting go over proving a point. And becoming over belonging. And now, life feels different. Not because it suddenly got easier. But because you've stopped giving your power to things that never deserved it. You're no longer addicted to the reaction. No longer enslaved by the need to be right. No longer pulled into storms that aren't yours to calm. And while others may still live loud lives, full of noise, chaos, confusion, you sit in your silence like a throne. Untouched, unbothered, unshaken. Not because nothing affects you, but because you now know how to protect what matters most. Your peace, your mind, your soul. And in this space you've carved for yourself, quiet, sacred, honest. You've found something rare. You've found home. Not in a place, not in a person, but in you. And no one can take that from you. So if ever again you're tempted to break your silence for the wrong reasons, pause. Remember who you are now. Remember how far you've come. Remember how many storms you walked through without ever losing your soul. Let that be your compass. Let that be your strength. And when the noise calls, let it pass. You've already chosen your answer. Silence. The language of the wise. The rhythm of the healed. The roar of those who no longer need to be loud, to be heard. And if you close your eyes right now, just for a moment, you'll feel it. That gentle hum inside you. That pulse that isn't your heartbeat, it's your becoming. It's the quiet energy of your soul saying, I'm here. I never left. I was just waiting for you to return. No one told you how strong you'd have to be. To walk away from what once felt like home. To forgive without apology. To build yourself back without a blueprint. But you did it. In silence. In darkness. In solitude. And now you walk differently. Not faster, not louder, but with more intention. More clarity. More awareness of what you allow into your life. Because you've learned, peace is expensive. It costs you your old identity. Your need to fix everyone. Your addiction to chaos. Your loyalty to people who were never loyal to you. But the price? Worth it. Every ounce of it. Because now, your life is quieter, but so much richer. Fewer people, but deeper connections. Fewer words, but more meaning. Less chasing, more receiving. You've softened, but only in the places that used to be hard from pain. And you've hardened, but only in the boundaries that protect your peace. That's the paradox of healing. You become softer and stronger all at once. You don't break as easily now. You don't bend for attention. You don't shrink to make others feel comfortable. You simply exist. Fully. Freely. Fearlessly. And there's a sacred rhythm to your life now. One that doesn't rush. One that doesn't force. One that trusts. Trusts in timing. Trusts in karma. Trusts in the quiet unfolding of all things meant to be. So if today still feels heavy, that's okay. Don't fight it. Don't flee it. Just feel it, without letting it define you. And when the noise comes, because it will, the judgments, the triggers, the misunderstandings, the old voices trying to pull you back, pause. Don't fight. Don't feed it. Don't fear it. Just return to your center. That space where nothing outside of you has control. That sacred ground within, where only truth lives. And from that place, choose silence again. Choose it not because you have nothing to say, but because you've already said everything you needed to say, with how you live. That's the highest level of power. Unshakable peace. Unapologetic stillness. Unspoken strength. So let the world spin. You've found your gravity. There is a stillness inside you that nothing can touch. And once you've tasted it, even once you can never go back. You don't want to go back. To the noise. To the proving. To the pretending. You've outgrown it all. Now, your soul wants something quieter. Something deeper. Something real. You don't need to be the loudest in the room. You don't need to defend every boundary. You don't need to explain to people who aren't listening. You just need to stay close to yourself. Close to the part of you that doesn't perform. That doesn't push. That doesn't fear being misunderstood. The part of you that just knows. Knows that the right people don't need convincing. Knows that the right opportunities don't require chasing. Knows that the real path, the sacred one, is walked quietly, step by step, breath by breath. And maybe, just maybe, all the noise you've walked through in life wasn't there to break you. It was there to show you how to return to the silence. To guide you back home. Not to a place, but to a presence. Your presence. The space where peace lives, even when the world is on fire. The space where grace breathes, even when you've lost everything. The space where you are already enough, even if no one ever tells you that again. Let this be your rhythm now. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Let go. Not just of people. Not just of situations. Let go of everything that taught you to abandon yourself. Let go of the version of you that thought silence was weakness. Let go of the part that thought being loud was the only way to survive. You're not surviving anymore. You're awakening. And awakening is quiet. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't try to prove anything. It just is. Just like you. So breathe. Feel your body. Feel your heart. Feel the weight you no longer carry. Feel the calm rising in its place. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're not broken. You're exactly where you need to be. Unfolding in perfect time. In perfect silence. And now, as this moment comes to a close, let this silence stay with you. Let it follow you into your thoughts, into your choices, into the way you carry yourself through this loud, restless world. Remember, you don't have to react to be powerful. You don't have to explain to be understood. You don't have to speak to be heard. Your energy speaks. Your presence speaks. Your peace speaks. Louder than any words ever could. So the next time life tests you, the next time someone tries to pull you back into the noise, the next time your past knocks on your door, pause, breathe, and remember who you are now. You've changed. You've grown. You've risen. You've learned to let karma speak where your voice no longer needs to. You've learned to trust silence. Because silence is not the absence of power, it is the power. So hold it like a flame. Protect it like a treasure. Return to it like a sacred home. And as you move forward, let your life be your answer. Let your peace be your legacy. Let your silence say everything. This is your path now. Still, strong, unshakable, and you walk it in peace. Always. If this message spoke to something deep within you, if you found clarity, stillness, or strength in these words, then I invite you to stay on this path with me. This channel is growing, quietly, intentionally, just like you. And every new subscriber, every like, every shared video, helps carry this message to someone who might need it right now. So if you feel aligned with what we're building here, a space for peace, perspective, and quiet power, you can support it by simply subscribing, leaving a comment, or sharing this with someone walking through their own storm. Together, we grow, not through noise, but through truth. Thank you for being here. Stay grounded, stay patient, and as always, choose silence and let karma handle the rest.